I am such a procrastinator. It's unreal. Hello everyone and welcome to the Bree brand. This is not a makeup tutorial. I promise it's coming. This is just simply a Q&A. Girls and guys have asked me tons of questions regarding my makeup. Like, what foundations do I use? What kind of brushes do I use? What comes first as far as all of the products that I use. So I am here to answer all of your questions so that I can help you girls and guys out there on your makeup journey. For those of you who like the way I do my makeup, like the way it comes out, but are wondering how I achieve the looks that I achieve, here we are. So again, this is not a tutorial, but there is going to be a part in this video where I am going to be swatching foundation shades on my skin, Fenty and MAC, which are the two foundations that I prefer to use the most. PSA, I am not a makeup artist, okay? I don't even know if I know how to hold a makeup brush this way. All I know is that I know how to hold it this way, and when I do, my makeup is beats. So for all you MUAs out there who are going to be critiquing this video, please don't, okay? Because I'm not a professional. I just know that I do my makeup well and I get a lot of compliments and questions. So yeah, let's get started with the first question. So what foundation do I use? The two foundations that I stick to are MAC and Fenty. Used Fenty, what is this? Hydrating Longwear Foundation, which is good for dry skin. There's also a Fenty Soft Matte Longwear Foundation, which is, sorry, there's a sticker on there, which is good for oily skin. And since I have combination skin, I have both. But lately I've been using this one, and that's because this is shade 410. This is 420, and I found that 410 is most closely matched to my complexion. But this, I still wear this, especially if I run out of this. The other one is MAC Studio Fix in NC47 and NC50. Again, the shades are very, very close in color, but I was wearing NC50 for a long time, and then I realized, like, it's not really looking how I want it to look. So I went to MAC, swatched some more makeup on my face, and ended up getting the NC47. But NC50 I still would wear. And like I said, later on in the video, I'm going to be swatching these four on my face so you guys can see what I mean. So first things first, if you guys are wondering, like, about my skincare routine, I never, ever, ever apply makeup to a dirty face. I make sure my face is nice and clean. The moisturizers that I like to use, I do not use lotion. And I also don't recommend using lotion because it's just going to clog your pores. I like to use moisturizing gels. See, it's like a light gel. There are multiple brands that I use, but this is like my go-to. The reason why I use multiple is because I have an Ipsy subscription. So Ipsy sends me stuff, you know, every month. And they do put a lot of different brands of facial gels. But this is the one that I get from Amazon. It's Garnier Skin Active Moisture Rescue Refreshing Gel Cream. And I absolutely love this because I do not like my face to feel sticky or just like I just have something on my face. Like, you know how you put lotion on and your skin is just moisturized? I don't like my face to feel like that because I have oily skin at times. A moisturizer is just going to make it even more oily. So I like to use this. I'll put a little on so you guys can see. It has like a very nice, and I just love the way it dries. I absolutely love this. So while it is light, it still moisturizes, and I get dry around here, and this does the trick. Again, I will be putting all of these products in the description box. Putting a gel cream on my shirt. Ooh, this is strong. Okay, next question. What brushes do I use? So I actually love this question because you guys will probably think I use these expensive like MAC brushes. No, okay? My brushes come from the swap meet or Amazon. Yes, indeed. These right here with the black handles came from Amazon. I think it was a pack of maybe 15. And I think they were like under $20. This works perfectly. You do not need to break the bank by buying expensive ass makeup brushes. No, ma'am. And then I also have these wooden handle brushes. I think, again, like a pack of maybe 10 brushes from the swap meet. And I know these were definitely under $20. I think I may have paid like 12 for these, and they work just as fine. So when you guys see my face all beat and pretty, I use inexpensive makeup brushes. I am not about to buy makeup brushes that cost a lot of money. Now, I will say I do have a couple of brushes that were a little bit of a pretty penny, like this here contour brush, and I have another brush. Where is it? Oh, here it is. These might be my and this one. These might be my 3 most expensive makeup brushes. And again, I did not pay full price for these. I got them in my Ipsy subscription. I got a huge discount. Like, I think the value of this brush is probably like $49. But with my Ipsy subscription, which is $25 a month, I get all this good stuff. Please, please, please do not spend a lot of money on makeup brushes. Like, you do not have to. Let me cross these off as I go through them. Okay, another question that I get is, how do you make your eyeshadows pop? So, my first ever eyeshadow palette was the crayon case. I got this. This is my first ever eyeshadow palette. I was so excited. And then when it came, like, I knew nothing about makeup. This was about 3 years ago when it came. I was so excited. And I tried to do a look and it didn't work because the color wasn't popping. So I'm like, what the hell? So I gave up. Now I know that the key to making your eyeshadows pop with color is to put down a base. You have to put down a base. Now they sell eyeshadow primers. I actually have one and I think it was a waste of money. This was probably like $3 maybe. HD Pro Super Clingy eyeshadow primer. It was a waste of money because all you need is a concealer. In your makeup process, when you put on your concealer, put some on your eyelid if you plan on wearing eyeshadows, because then your color is for sure gonna pop. And what that does is, if you're using a light colored concealer, it gives it like a blank canvas, like a lighter color canvas, right? A pink crayon is gonna look better on a white piece of paper than it is a black. So the lighter you get your base, the more color will pop. Another question that I've gotten is, what goes first, the concealer or the foundation? And that all depends. If you want to hide your blemishes, you put dark concealer on your blemishes first. And what I mean by dark is you get a concealer that is darker than your foundation. Like this right here, this color is actually darker than my foundation. So if I want to be extra out and have full coverage, I go in with a concealer that's a shade or two darker than my actual complexion, and I conceal my blemishes. So if I was putting on makeup right now, I would use this. By the way, this is LA Girl Pro Concealer. This is like $3.99 at the beauty supply store. This is my go-to concealer. If I wanted to hide my blemishes before I put on my foundation, I would just take this and I would dab it on all of my blemishes. Dab, 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 dab. Like so. And then blend it out with a brush. And then I will follow that with my concealer. And I don't do this step all the time. If you don't want to conceal your blemishes, or you don't have many blemishes, you just hop right into your foundation. And then when you want to highlight your under eye, you go in with a lighter color concealer. So the person who asked me this question, I wasn't sure if they meant the concealer we use for blemishes or the concealer we use to highlight. If you want to hide your blemishes, put a dark concealer on first and then your foundation. And then to highlight, which I always recommend when putting on makeup, you use a concealer that is about 2 to 3 shades lighter than your foundation. Another question that I have gotten is whether or not I use makeup brushes or beauty blenders. The answer is I use both. So how can I break this down in simpler terms? So I apply my foundation with a brush. You can apply it with a beauty blender, and it just takes more time. So applying foundation, you can use either or. The key to using the beauty blender and getting the most out of it and making sure your makeup goes on flawlessly is you want to make sure this is damp. So you want to run this under water. It's a sponge, so you're going to run it under water and it's going to expand. And you just want to squeeze that under the water, like under running water, about 10 times until it expands. And then when you're done, turn the water off. Squeeze all the excess water out of it. Get a paper towel, wrap it in a paper towel, and just make sure it's not soaking wet. You just want it damp. And then you can apply your foundation with this, and you just simply go like this. This takes a long time, but you get a nice, even, blended foundation across your face. Sometimes I ain't got time for that, so I just go in with my brush. The brush does absorb more of your foundation, because you'll get the foundation all in here and it's just like a waste. But you're not doing this for about 30 minutes. Not 30, but it takes a long time to do. I recommend applying makeup with a makeup brush. And then once we conceal our under eye or highlights, I like to go in with the beauty blender only for the concealer. I hope that makes sense. Let me try to put it in simpler terms. Applying your foundation, you use a brush. When you're blending, use a beauty blender, period. If you want to put your foundation on with the beauty blender, you can, but then you'll need another one for highlighting your under eye, because your under eye concealer is lighter than your foundation and you don't really want to mix the colors. How long does it take me to get my beat face? It takes me about 45 minutes on average, and that's without doing eyeshadow. If you don't have 45 minutes, then this probably isn't for you. But there have been times where I'm running extremely late and I only have about 20-25 minutes, but trust me, there's a step in there that doesn't happen. Like, there's something that I have to leave out. If you have at least 45 minutes, you can get a full beat face and be fine. Again, that gives me an idea for another makeup tutorial. So I will do one like how to get your face beat in 25 minutes. Whoo, child, that's gonna be hard, but it can be done. The longer time you have to do this, the better, period. Well, next question, what are all the products that I wear? The first thing I use is a primer. It's the MAC Prep and Prime Natural Radiance. I think it's like Radiance Yellow or something. Yeah, Radiant Yellow. It does have like a natural glow to it. So this is the first thing that I do before I put on makeup. This is my base, just so the makeup can go on smooth and flawlessly. Next, if I'm feeling like I want extra coverage, I hide my blemishes, as I said earlier, with the darker color concealer. And then I apply my foundation. After my foundation, I go in with my concealer to highlight my under eye, the center of my forehead, down my nose, my cupid's bow, and my chin. This light concealer just brings light back to the center of my face. A lot of girls get confused with like highlights, and this is not a highlighter. This is a concealer that we use to highlight. So after I apply my concealer to highlight, I then go in and contour. And for contouring, I use my Fenty matchsticks in Espresso, and that's where I go down here to contour my cheekbones, my jawline, and my forehead. After that, I like to use a loose setting powder. Is the Sacha Buttercup setting powder. And I use this to bake the highlight. You see how light it is? Very light. But that's because I'm baking the highlights. And after I bake the highlight, I bake my contour with a bronzer. Here's a bronzer that I got from the beauty supply store for $6.99. So yeah, and then after that, I like to, you're probably like, these are a lot of products, but trust me, it's worth it. So after that, after I bake and I dust off the bake, I go in with my MAC Studio Fix and a big fluffy brush. And I just bring everything together, blend out all those harsh lines. And by harsh lines, I mean we're putting a light color right here, a dark color right here. So you don't really want to see the difference between the two. This right here, child, brings it all together. And after that, what's after that? Is the highlighter. So here's one of many that I have. Also got this in Ipsy. And this is that shiny Last Step girls do that just really just, oh my gosh, this is like not my favorite step. The Last Step is actually my favorite step, but this is what you put, you know, right here and on your brow bones. Give you a little shimmer on your face. Last but not least is my setting spray. And I use my NYX Matte Finish Fenty Matte Setting Spray. Spray that about 12 times all over my face, and it just really brings everything together. So those steps I just told you do not include the lashes, my brows, or my lip. And that brings me to another question that I get, which is what comes first, your brows or your foundation? The steps I just told you just now were the products that I use for my face, like my foundation, my base. Had nothing to do with my brows or my eyes or my lips. When it comes to eyebrows, I like to do those first before I put anything like on my face. I like to do my brows. I've tried it the other way where you put your foundation on first and then your brow, but it's hard for the pencil to show up when you're trying to apply it on top of a foundation. So if you're worried about, oh, if I do my brows first, you know, and then my foundation, what if I get foundation on top of my brows that I just did? You just have to be careful. You just have to go around your brow, and trust me, it is not hard. As long as you're not using a ton of product, it is not going to leak down onto your eyebrows. It's not going to, you know what I mean? And if you do get a little bit of foundation on your brow as you're putting on your foundation, it's an easy fix, trust me. So I highly recommend doing your eyebrows first. And by first, I mean after you moisturize and put on your primer. It goes eyebrows, then concealer if you want to hide your blemishes, and then foundation. Now, as far as eyeshadow goes, I like to put my eyeshadow on before my foundation as well. Sometimes the color could fall on your face, and if your face is already done, you're just going to have, like, for instance, if I'm using a red eyeshadow and my face is already done, I could be applying that red eyeshadow and it could drip, drip, drip down on my cheek, and then I'm just going to have, like, red eyeshadow on my cheek, and it's just a whole mess if you have to wipe it off, because then you're wiping off your foundation, and yeah. But if you are a pro or if you insist on doing your eyeshadow last, I recommend the step where we bake our under eye setting powder, putting on extra. So pack that setting powder on your under eye when you bake it. That way, if you have shadow that falls onto your face, once you dust off the setting powder, you can dust off the shadow. But again, for me, I like to do my eyeshadow before my foundation. But again, I do not always wear eyeshadow. Like, it has to be a special occasion, or I have to have extra time if I'm wearing an eyeshadow. Now, as far as lips go, I myself am a matte girl. I love matte. It's just very sexy. I don't have to worry about it coming off. Sometimes it does, because sometimes I forget I have it on and I'll eat and I'll wipe my mouth with my napkin and there goes my matte lipstick. But other than that, like, I love it. And I love to use a pencil. I use a pencil that is the exact same color as my matte or a shade or two darker. And it's great. So to bring everything together, if I am wearing eyeshadow, these are the steps that I go in. First, of course, wash and moisturize my face. Next is the primer, then my eyebrows, then eyeshadow, and concealer if I want to conceal my blemishes. But if we don't have time, then that's out. Then my foundation, then my highlight, then my contour, then I bake, meaning bake my highlighter and my contour. Then I dust all that off with my Studio Fix, which is also a full face bake. I feel like I'm leaving something out. Then I will go ahead and do my lip. Then I will do a highlighter, right? The shimmery shine. And then I will spray, setting spray all over my face. I hope I didn't skip anything. I probably did. But I'm just answering your questions. The makeup tutorial will be coming soon. Last but not least, this difficult question. Ooh, that drink is strong. This difficult question that I get all the time is how to find the right shade. And in the times we're in now, girls, let me tell you, and guys, it's going to be difficult to find the right shade because everything is closed. So you can't actually go to the makeup store, go to the counter, and swatch your face. It's not happening right now. But what you can do is there are tons and tons of makeup quizzes online. I'll leave some links below where you can take a quiz online, and it basically asks you, like, it will show you 5 to 6 girls in different shades from light to dark, which one close represents your skin complexion. You pick one. From there, they just ask you more and more questions. I'm not gonna sit here and go through the warm and the cool and the vein colors because it's just too much. Like, just take the quiz. And once you do take the quiz, and you find that there are a couple shades that could be yours, I recommend finding the cheaper versions, meaning the drugstore versions. For instance, Fenty has a quiz, right? But if you take the Fenty quiz and you're tossed in between like 3 shades, I don't recommend buying all 3 shades because it's not that serious and you're gonna break the bank. And once you find those 3 Fenty shades, you can then Google what Maybelline or CoverGirl shades closely match the Fenty shades that the quiz says you are. So if you take the quiz and it says you're a 310, right, in the Fenty shade, you can Google what is equivalent to Fenty shade 310 in a drugstore brand, and then it'll tell you, oh, the Maybelline in chestnut brown. And then you can go to Walgreens or Walmart and you can get that for half the price of Fenty. For me, I'm not even gonna go through the story of me trying to find a shade because it's just too long, and that's exactly why I have 4 different shades. Because like, I've taken the quizzes. Sometimes the quiz says, okay, you are a 410. And then if you want to find that shade in MAC, it will say, oh, it's an NC50. But then some sites will say it's an NC47. Hence why I have both. So I feel like if you really know, you know, you're never going to find your exact, okay? Because I, years ago, thought I had my exact, which was NW45. And then I realized there were a whole bunch of black girls wearing NW45, but I would be looking at them like, we not the same complexion. It was almost as if years ago, MAC was telling all the black girls to get NW45. Like, that's not my shade, okay? And I was wearing that for years. I am going to swatch these 4 shades on my face just so you guys can see. They are damn near the same. But I'm going to show you guys the 2 that I used to wear, not the NW45. I mean, like the 2 that I used to wear a few months ago. And then I went back and I swatched different shades, and I felt like these other 2 closely represented my complexion more. Should I do both MACs on one side and both Fenty's on the other, or should I do my old MAC and my old Fenty and then my new MAC and my new Fenty? I'm going to do both ways. I'm going to do old Fenty and new Fenty, my old MAC and my new MAC. I'm going to tell you guys what shades they are, and you're going to see how close they are in color. Okay, so my old, and what I mean by old is I was wearing this a few months ago, went back and decided that this wasn't it, so I got a different one, but it's a shade right next to it. Like, this is 410 and this is 420. I now wear 410 more. but I will still wear 420. Like, it's they really look the same. And when you're putting this on your face, just to see if it matches, you want to swatch it from your jawline to your neck. Not on your wrist or on your forearm, because your forearm and your face are not the same color. Some girls they are, but that's not a good place to swatch makeup. This is the best place to swatch makeup because you're wearing the makeup on your face and not on your forearm. And you want to make sure that your neck is not lighter or darker than your face. I don't know if you guys can see that. And if you can't, then boom. Because you don't want to see it, you know? You want it to melt right into your skin. I'm going to put a little more though. And again, this is the Fenty 420. So you see how that just basically just blended right into my skin? Let me blend it in. Okay, Fenty Hydrating Longwear Foundation in 410. This is the one that I wear the most when I wear Fenty foundation. And we're going to blend that in. You can barely see it. And you see how close in color these are? Again, these are just one shade apart. Again, like, look, it looks great. Next, I am going to do the MAC. I'm going to do the MC50 in the back, which is the shade that I was wearing a few months ago. And I'm going to do the MC47, which is the front. Now, there are also websites, like I said earlier, where you can put in what shade closely matches MAC NC47. And it will give you the Fenty shade. It will give you the drugstore brand shades. It will give you other name brand shades. And in these times, since you can't actually go to a store and try on the makeup, I recommend going online. So NC50 and MAC Studio Fix. I love MAC. Like, I've been wearing this more than the Fenty because it's just really, like, I don't know, but I love it. This is exactly how you want to swatch it when you test it out, even when you buy it. Jawline to neck, because you want that sucker to blend right in. Okay, I hope you guys can see that. You see how it just melted right into my skin. Next, I am going to do NC47, which is the MAC that I currently wear. 47, I'm going to do it in the front. Very close in shades, right? Again, I left a little space, but yes, ma'am. Those are the two kinds of foundation that I wear and the two colors. So now I'm going to wipe this off and I'm going to do it one more time. So last go round. Okay, now I am going to do both old colors on one side and my new shades on the other. Again, it's basically going to be the same. All of these shades are very, very, very close in color. This is the Fenty in the 420. Fenty 420. MAC NC50 in the front. my goodness, look at this. I might go back to this shade, shoot. So again, what we have in the back is Fenty Soft Matte Longwear Foundation in 420 and the MAC Studio Fix in NC50, and these are my old shades. These might be my new shades because damn. Next, we are going to do the ones that I currently wear, and I'm going to do the Fenty right here. I know that looks light, but I just put hell of it on my brush. This is the Fenty Hydrating Longwear in 410. I am going in and putting more over that blemish just to show you guys that you don't have to do the concealer step and conceal your blemishes. You can absolutely just apply a little more foundation on your blemishes and blend that in. See? And that was my Fenty Hydrating Longwear in the shade 410. Last but not least, my MAC Studio Fix, and I'm gonna put it in the back. Same with the MAC, you can absolutely cover blemishes, but for the sake of time, I just want to show you guys how that just blends right into my skin, y'all. Like, what? Boo yow. So again, the Fenty Hydrating Longwear Foundation in 410, MAC Studio Fix in NC47. They both look great. Okay, so those are all the questions that I have. If you guys have more, please comment down below. I will answer them, and if I get enough of them, I can make another video. Also ask me on Instagram and on Facebook. But hopefully I helped you guys out, and just please give me feedback. Again, I am also a beginner. I have not been doing this long, maybe about a year, so we can go on this journey together. Just let me know if you guys have any more questions. And again, the makeup tutorial is coming, just not right now. But thank you for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And like I said, more videos will be coming very soon. Bye guys.